Well, g'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. All right, bit of a garden tour before I head over to the States. This one may be a little bit of evidence. Tina's looking after the garden while I'm gone, and the girl has a chronic black thumb. I mean, the girl, she managed to kill a rose bush. Yeah, I don't know how you manage to kill a rose bush, but she's gonna be looking after my garden for 3 weeks. This is scary. All right, so let's have a look, see what's going on now, see what's alive. When I get back, we'll see what's dead. All right, let's have a tour. Okay, starting with our long bed as normal. There's this one here, which is a big pear tomato. That's water shooted off a sucker. As you can see, not doing great down here. But nothing's ever done great in this corner, so I'm not too stressed about it. Our Trombencios, as you can see, they are looking lush green. Have a couple in here which are coming along. We got a little bit of powder mildew starting. We have another fruit tucked down in there. One just here which is flowering, so that needs to be pollinated. Yeah, basically that's doing awesome. I may speak to the neighbours and see if they're after some excess vegetables, because I know Tina won't use things like the Trombencios, zucchinis and that sort of thing. Little chili plants doing fantastically, producing. We come along to the big pears. They are doing great. You know, plenty of tomatoes on them. Tucked in there. Need to tie them all back a bit more. I've double mulched everything from there up, everything from there down. I've only single mulched, and I'm going to have to go through and double mulch that this weekend just to make it a little bit easier for Tina to care for it. These two here are water shooted plants. As you can see, they've caught up with these plants here. Maybe even looking a little bit better than these plants here. So really happy with those. Down here, we get to the Ransom Tomatoes coming along. You can see they're a stringier plant than the big pears, not as bushy. We've got a little water shoot down here, and that's only a recent addition. We've got our Lakota Pumpkins tucked in there, which are coming along. Another one in there. Another big one down in there. A few corn scattered about in there. The corn's not setting the world on fire. Not a lot of that came up, but you know what come up. Ransom have got fruit on them, so hopefully they will start to ripen up soon. Down here we've got the cucumber and German pickling cucumbers. German pickling is starting to put some height on. As of yet, haven't put some fruit on. The cucumber have started putting fruit on. There's one tucked in there. Great little garden tree. Rhubarb, it's struggling through. That heat we had just absolutely knocked stuff around. Over here with the paprika, all the new plants are starting to flower. Starting to get a bit of fruit on those. That overwintered one has fruited like crazy. That one's looking great. These newer ones, yeah, they're working their way towards it. The pepino plant, really struggling. It's looking dry again. Well, the ground's pretty moist. Yeah, this one's a struggle. I don't think this one does well in the bucket. You can see our fruit down there is pretty much ready. So I might have to pick that off and eat it before I go. Our other little ones here, the Chinese onion, not setting the world on fire. And there we have the Chinese potato, that's doing well. And the Chinese artichoke, again, doing pretty well. Here we've got the borage and the jicama. Jicama, yeah, it's struggling along, but again, it's not setting the world on fire. Borage is bringing plenty of bees to the garden, which is great. Over in the pepper bed, as you can see, lots of peppers. Again, gonna talk to the neighbors and see if they want some fruit. The zucchinis in here, not doing great, but yeah, I am getting the odd zucchini off them. Next up, we've got the watermelon, which I've interplanted with some beans. Beans are finally starting to flower, which will be great. Astrid can have some beans while I'm gone. And tucked in, down here, we have watermelon. Another one tucked in underneath there. So, really happy. There's a couple watermelons growing, which is great. Potatoes, really struggling with this heat. This one got smashed by red spider mite, so it may well be worth picking. The Egyptian walking onion, again, still going with that root division. Nothing going for growing the bulbs on the top. Some of these other potatoes are starting to come up, which is great. Astrid decided that she was going to plant a flower. Trombencios pumpkin, as you can see, starting to look a bit dead back there, but getting some more shoots out of it, which is great. But as we come down, tucked in here, we have one of the Trombencios pumpkins. As you can see, that's a decent size little pumpkin, still growing. And we finally have a second one starting to grow, which is awesome. And as you can see, the borage is definitely bringing bees in the garden. So at the moment, I don't need to pollinate any of the flowers as a rule, because the bees are taking care of it for me. Purple potatoes that I've replanted haven't done a thing. The heat was absolutely dreadful, so nothing going there. These cucumbers here, absolutely smashing it. I'm actually getting too many cucumbers for Astrid to take care of them. Down in there, another one there. I have been refrigerating, pickling them, but again, I'm going to speak to the neighbours, see if they're interested in some, just because there's a lot coming in. With me being away, I'm not going to be able to take care of them all. Over here in the central bed, this is yellow pear tomato, and also this ram's horn. Both of them got attacked by a caterpillar that actually bored into the trunk. I have not met the creature before, but yeah, was not doing great things. Same on that one, bored into the trunk. So we've only got the small shoots, and they're not looking great, but we'll see what happens with it. The yellow zucchini, doing awesome, producing plenty. Down in front here, we've got a yellow pear, which is growing up through the zucchini, doing great. There's a yellow pear that's water shooted. That one's doing great. Still got kale hanging around in here. heads out to the chickens every now and again. This other little bed, spaghetti squash, one forming there. Harvested one the other day. As you can see, this really has picked up powdery mildew real quick. So I may have to give that a treatment before I go. We've got a couple of beans scattered through here, which are starting to flower. This capsicum sitting in here, putting plenty of fruit on. Fruit down in there. And there's one that's just dropped. So that's obviously got a bump and dropped off. So that may well go to the neighbours. These yellow pears are absolutely starting to get covered with fruit. There. So I probably need to tie these back. But yeah, they're absolutely kicking goals. Taro plants looking magnificent. I try and keep these pretty moist because they are a wetland plant. I could probably do with some water at the moment. But yeah, we'll see what happens with them come harvest time. Moving on to this central grouping. As you can see, it's a forest in there. Beauregard's doing great. I've got to do a in-soil propagation for them. These molokais are doing great, but I don't think I've got any shoots that are long enough to propagate yet. Nothing sort of sticking over the side enough. So they'll have to wait to propagate until I get back. All of these ones, 3 on that end, are propagated. There's buckets on the other side. This one here is the only one not propagated, which is the Northern Star. So I need to propagate that one before I go, as well as the Beauregards. The New Zealand Yams, they're not doing so well. They got smashed in the heat. So we'll see how they come back. The ground's fairly moist in there. But yeah, they did not enjoy the heat at all. So we'll see what happens. The ones that are hiding in the shade there are doing great. Ones that are out in the sun aren't doing so great, and they're normally a sun lover. The Yakon's supposed to be a sun lover, but again, they've been smashed by the heat. Yeah, there's plenty of growth going on, but a lot of the undergrowth's dying back. You can see we've got a lot of browning up the top here. So hopefully we get some milder weather, they survive a bit better. You can see like this stuff up the top where we've had a milder week. It's nice green, it's lush, but it gets brown as we go down further. That's the in-ground propagation of the sweet potatoes. This one's the white. They have rooted down nicely, and as you can see, has grown amazingly well past that. So I need to disconnect them from the mother plant and let them do their own thing. I may even repropagate these ones, and these have come on amazing. So after our white, which is doing so well, we've got the Hawaiian, which is doing pretty well. Lots of growth out of the shoots. So yeah, we may well disconnect that. And then we have the Kumara, which is a New Zealand variety. Again, lots of growth out of that one. So yeah, could be well timed to disconnect them. We've got the turmeric, That one had that new growth coming up, which is doing fantastic. This one has some new growth coming up, which is looking great. The ginger plant, as you can see, that has what, 3 new flags on this bigger one. The main flag's dying back on that one, but we've got 2 new flags on that, so looking awesome. My dwarf coffee plant, the Katui, absolutely looking great considering, you know, how smashed it was and how little growth I had left. I had what, 2 half leaves left on it. Really happy with where it's at. This Blue Mountain coffee, yep, it's got those divisions going on up the top. As you can see, starting to bush up, looking great. You know, first year, it's not going to fruit, but it's putting size on and it's putting bushiness on. So that is awesome. Hey, outside with the girls, we have some mealworm stacks down for them, and we have some new additions. Of course, we've still got Frilly, young Betty over there, who's finding it a bit hot out here, being a black chicken. And we have some new Isers. We have Lacey, who's there. You can see the lace collar around her neck. We have Ladyhawk, just here. She has some spurs on her legs. And here we have Dork Fish. And anyone who follows Bill Ingvall will know Dork Fish. Dork Fish has an underslung beak, which is sticking out a bit far, hence the name Dork Fish. Dork Fish also thinks it's a good idea to sleep up here at night time. She climbs up there, I get her down and put her in the house. The other night I didn't get her down and she fell out of the tree. Okay, because the girls are young, we're only getting pullet size eggs off them. So at the moment I'm getting 1 full size eggs and 2 pullet eggs a day, which isn't a bad little return. All right, there we go. There's our little tour. There's what's alive. Let's see what's going to be alive when I get back. All right, thank you very much everyone for watching, and bye for now.